And now, introducing Casey Carter.
Hey, it's Casey, and it's time for Casey at Night. Whew! Wednesday, another half a week in the books. And let me tell you, even though it's midweek, I feel like it's already Friday. It's been a hell of a week. Hey, Lorenzo. Woo, it's been a long week, people. It's been a long week. But I'm glad we are here together on Cinco de Mayo. So, this is my Casamigos $100 bottle of tequila, and that is good. Whew. So I'll be sipping on that for the rest of the night. But tonight, oh wait, let me slow down. Whew, let me not go too fast. First, so I think last week I mentioned I was getting a Peloton. Got my Peloton, people. Got my Peloton. And my day is going great, Jason. Thank you very much. Glad to see you here. So, got my Peloton, and I have been riding ever since. Like, the guys left from setting it up. I was just gonna do my settings, and well, happy birthday, Jason. Hey, make sure when you show up to BoobTube, you let us know, and we will, I don't know, maybe we'll sing, maybe we won't, you'll see. But make sure to let us know on BoobTube. But happy pre-birthday to you. So anyway, got my Peloton, got it all set up, and I'm like, ugh, might as well give it a try, see if these settings work. And so I did my first ride on Thursday. I rode on Friday. I rode on Saturday. I didn't ride on Sunday because instead I went hiking. That was awfully cool. I probably should have like showed you pictures of my hike. Sorry, I didn't even think about that. And then I rode yesterday. I rode Monday. I rode today. Already, I feel like I am addicted, and it's barely been a week. So, if you are on Peloton, I want you to find me, follow me on Peloton. It's real simple. If you know me here, you know me there. I am, wait, hold on. I didn't realize I'm wearing a white t shirt. You can't really see that. Okay, so hold on. I'll fix that. So on Peloton, I am Casey at Night. Plain and simple, y'all. Find me on Peloton. Follow me, I'll follow you. Hey, maybe we can ride together. Who knows? But follow me on Peloton. Help encourage me to show up every day for my daily ride, stretch, strength training, meditation. I'm trying it all. And so far, I am absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. Um, so if you were here last week, we talked about a bunch of things. We talked about the Equal Rights Amendment and the fact that it required three-fourths vote from the 50 states, which amounts to 38 states. We now have the 38 states. However, we needed those 38 states back in 1979. So we'll find out, hopefully, before the next millennia, whether or not we can get that ratified and made a part of the Constitution. So we shall see. Stay tuned. And we also talked about the stereotyping of Black women and the 5 things that affect their sexual health. Um, and it's interesting because I had this same conversation on another show that I do on Fridays. It's a morning show, so I had to keep it chill for the morning. But you'd be surprised about how many people didn't think about the external factors that affect us. And hi, Vaughn. And so, yeah, last week was a great show. And I'm sneaking in Casey at night during my daytime stuff. So, and here's the funny thing, I don't tell the daytime people how to find me here, and I don't necessarily tell y'all how to find me there. But just know, Casey's everywhere because I'm on a completely different platform with that one. So, yeah, yeah. And tonight, however, tonight we talk about orgasms. Very excited about this. This is one of my favorites. I've done this before in the first iteration. I've done this before in the first iteration of Casey at Night, and it is a great topic. So we're going to be talking about the female orgasm. And I come at it from a different angle than a lot of other people. I am not trying to teach you how to make it bigger, better, faster, stronger. I'm not trying to, give you techniques. I'm literally trying to tell you what it feels like. Nobody tells you what it feels like. A lot of us are like, yeah, I've had an orgasm. And then in our mind, we're like, I think I did. I don't know. And then you hear somebody else describe their experience. You're like, oh, wait, no, I didn't have that. I didn't have that. So then I must not have had an orgasm. So my friends, you're in luck. I'm going to tell you what to feel, what to look for, what to see. Yes, finally, somebody's going to tell you what an orgasm should feel like. But first, little tea time with Duchess Cashmere. Just 1 second. I'll be right back.
So, honey, clutch your pearls now and thank me later. Because today's tea is normalizing non-sexy sex talk. So, what I mean by that is you've got to talk about the sex long before the sexy times start, before you start touching and rubbing and licking and kissing and rubbing and smacking. You've got to establish a set of permissions and boundaries with your play partner.
That is so important. I am so glad that that's what today's tea is. I agree wholeheartedly. And it really is an awkward thing for people, but I'm sure you have some tips on how to make it normal.
Absolutely, exactly. You've got to learn to express what kind of sex do you want? Do you want it to be vanilla and romantic and sweet? Or do you want whips and chains and nasty things? And being respectful of what our partners desire might not necessarily be our kink. You catch my drift?
Yes, ma'am, I certainly do. And your orgasm is your orgasm, and you tell them how that going now is what.
Absolutely, you've got to talk with your partner, and you've got to be humble enough to receive what your partner. If you
overnight and I
Yes, girl. You made it just in the nick of time. I probably gave you a heads up. My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure. So that's Duchess Cashmere acknowledging the fact that that was her on the screen. And yes, she made it in time to see that. And again, please go to Casey at Night. That full video becomes available at 9 o'clock. So when this is over, when you go to Casey at Night on YouTube, that entire video, the entire, I think it's about 5-6 minutes, that entire little conversation will be available. So yeah, you need to check that out. But as that promo said, we are going to talk about the female orgasm and what it feels like. So, first, let's talk about what an orgasm is. So, according to sex expert Dr. Jess O'Reilly, and I actually happen to know Dr. Jess, I was supposed to take the time to find my photo, and I fell down on the job on that, so I forgot to pull up my photo of myself and Dr. Jess, but Dr. Jess, Dr. Jess says that even a universal definition for orgasm can't be agreed upon. So, in other words, there's no one definition of an orgasm. So it says it's as subjective experiences don't always align with scientific conclusions. So when you ask to describe an orgasm, the responses are all over the place. And again, later I'm gonna give you some things to actually look for and think about when you're having your moment to determine whether or not you are. But during an orgasm, like this, now we're going to get into the what's going on, right? So during an orgasm, genital muscles will contract, the heart rate will increase, and your genitals will fill with blood. Well, guess what? That's a male and a female orgasm. That's not even like just the female thing. That's what happens to both of us. We both have blood rushing to our genitals. We both will experience an increase in our heart rate. And we both will have muscles contract. So, on a very basic level, we're both literally doing the same thing, except for the fact that, guys, you know exactly what's going on. You pretty much are working off of just like one play. Like there's one play in your playbook. There's one thing for you to determine that what's happening for you. For us ladies, it is a little bit more subtle. It is oftentimes completely obvious, but it's not the experience we thought we were going to have. So we're going to dig into what it feels like. But I want you to first understand the physiological things that are going on. So Alfred Kinsey is a pioneer in human sexuality. So in a scientific explanation, he says that an orgasm is the explosive discharge of neuromuscular tensions at the peak of sexual arousal. Okay, yeah. So you're like, what exactly does that mean? I'm gonna tell you what that means. What it means is neuro refers to the nerves in the body, and neurons are referring to your brain. Muscular refers to muscles, and explosive discharge, right? Like that seems obvious, doesn't it? Right. No, that still doesn't tell you anything, right? Still, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That does not tell you what the orgasm should feel like. Um, and better yet, bringing it down to a lower level, some women have described it as tremors, little blips of pleasure, an out of body experience, a small sigh, a hurt so good, an intense, focused pinpoint of pleasure. I still would be going, wait, what? What? That doesn't tell me what my body is literally feeling. You're just describing the experience. You're not telling me what my body is actually going to do. And I think therein lies the problem. Is nobody tells you, right? Like you have to literally guess, or you have this thing happen and someone goes, "Oh, you just had an orgasm." And you're like, "Wait, I did? What happened?" What it Because you don't even know that that's what that is. I mean, think about it, ladies. We get explained a lot of things. Well, if you're fortunate, someone is going to explain to you the mechanics. Someone's going to explain to you what happens when the penis is inserted into the vagina and the penis, ejaculates. We know all of those things. We know, we can tell you what the guy looks like. We can tell you what his body does when he's ejaculating. But have you ever thought about how you can explain what your body is doing when it has orgasm? Probably not. Bet you though a lot of you think about when Harry met Sally and you're like, "Oh, yeah, Meg Ryan sitting at the table in the diner going through these sounds and gestures with her body. And she's not even shy about it. She's all loud and everybody's watching. And finally, when she's all done, she picks up her sandwich and just goes back to eating like no big deal. That's just how it happens. This is what we do." And her point to Harry is that nobody really knows. Like, I can literally sit here and fake an orgasm and you can't tell me that it's not an orgasm. And to her point, he literally thought there was something wrong until he realized she was trying to make a point. So, how do you know if you're having an orgasm? So, again, an orgasm is physiological changes in your body. Again, like I said, it's your heart, your blood pressure, your pupils can dilate. You've got the contraction of your muscles. And so for women, the muscles in your pelvis can start to contract, as well as your anus. Yep, your anal contractions can happen and vaginal contractions, and things are squeezing and tightening. But here's the crazy thing. This is typically happening while we're in the course or in the flow, in the throes. Basically, there's probably some penetration going on. So we are not really aware of the fact that our vagina is contracting, or that our anus, our ass, our butthole is contracting. We can't feel that because it's this hodgepodge. It's this mix of sensations all at the same time. So, and I kid you not, those things will be going on. But there's so many other things going on that you can't focus on your ass tightening. You can't focus on that because your vagina is being stroked. And you can't really tell that your vagina is contracting because there's this penetration going on, whether it's an external penetration in terms of clitoral stimulation, or whether it's actual insertion. There's all this stroking and looking and sucking and poking, and you can't tell that these things are going on. So to know that they're happening does you no good, because you don't feel it. You can't distinguish it from any of the other things that you're feeling. And it doesn't always feel good. So you could actually have an orgasm and be in pain at the same time, because those contractions can be happening at a time, let's say menstrually, just premenstrual or postmenstrual. You could be having a contraction that causes you more discomfort than comfort. But again, you're not going to label that as an orgasm because it hurts. It didn't feel very good, right? Um, and so it's so hard to put your finger on it. I mean, because it can be this squeeze and literally in the pit of your stomach. And you could almost want to make your partner stop because you feel like, eh, like a cramp. But no, that's that muscle contracting because we're having an orgasm. We're actually experiencing pleasure through pain. Crazy, I know, but I bet you didn't know that. That's why I'm here. That's exactly why I'm here. I'm here to tell you that you can have an orgasm and be in pain at the same time. Hold that thought. We will be right back. Mm. And we're back. Okay. So now that you know physiologically what your body is doing, and now that you know these physiological actions can be happening and you are not aware of the fact that they're happening, I want to take a little slide to the right and talk about types of orgasms, because it's related to these areas of your body that are experiencing these contractions. Okay. So there are, and let me say this, there are as many lists and numbers of orgasms, it's ridiculous. But these five are what I have found to be pretty much the consensus across lists. So clitoral, vaginal, anal, combo, and erogenous zones. And they're as obvious as they appear, right? So a clitoral orgasm is, it begins as a result of clitoral stimulation. And, it says here it's like a tingling feeling all along your skin and in your brain. Ignore that, what they're saying right there, because you don't want to get locked into that's what it should feel like if your clitoris is being stimulated. Same for the vaginal orgasm. So, and the vaginal orgasm is, again, as it sounds, it's through the penetration of the vagina, whether it's deep penetration or whether it's shallow penetration in terms of like your G spot. Okay. Anal orgasm. Now, a lot of people have said that they have really strong orgasms through anal sex. And again, you may be that person that says, not that much different. And that's fine. Your orgasm, as we said on Tea Time with Duchess Casimir, your orgasm is your orgasm. And you can't let somebody try to tell you what it should and should not feel like. Like, if you don't have this big explosive anal orgasm, doesn't mean that your orgasm didn't happen and that it wasn't valid. Moving on. A combo orgasm is, and they're saying here, when the vagina, particularly the G spot, and the clitoris are stimulated at the same time. Again, do not let that lock you into my vagina and my clitoris have to be stimulated at the same time. Combo orgasm is when a combination of erogenous zones are stimulated. Okay? Don't let them lock you into that, because you'll feel disappointed when it doesn't happen the way you want it to. So it's a combination of things. And, as it says, tends to result in a more explosive movie style orgasm. Again, don't let that lock you into that. It can feel like whatever the hell it feels like. Okay? All I want you to do is recognize you're having it. And then this fifth one, the erogenous zones. So this is where it is not related to your vagina or your clitoris. It's when other parts of your body are stimulated to the point of excitement and the release of pleasure. Um, and if you've never had an orgasm from um, your erogenous zone or an erogenous zone being stimulated, it's different. I'm not saying it's different as in terms of the orgasm isn't any good. I'm saying it's different in terms of if you don't turn your brain on and allow it to feel that level of pleasure, you'll never have that. But I can tell you the intensity of the orgasm is just as good as any as a vaginal or a clitoral. It's just as good. It's the reason why you may never have had that experience is because you're telling yourself, you know, I can't get turned on by somebody sucking on my earlobes or my neck or caressing and massaging the back of my knee. Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can. And to prove that point, if you are already an advanced orgasm user, experiencer, how I don't know what the proper way of saying that would be, but if you're already advanced in experiencing orgasms, allow your partner to, after you've orgasmed, stimulate one of these other areas. Have them suck on your earlobe or your neck, or have them rubbing and massaging on the back of your knee and see if that doesn't spike you again. I promise you it will. And once your brain makes that connection, you can do that again without having to do the other thing first. That's a skill right there. That's a skill. When you can tune into your orgasm enough, know exactly how to identify it, know be able to identify the build and then pull it all the way through, you can do that when you feel like it. You can. Anyway, so we talked about, those five that I said are common, but there are also things like sleep orgasms and exercise orgasms, which when I saw those on some list, I'm like, huh? Sleep, exercise? Well, sleep orgasm was more obvious than I thought. I gave it credit for. Sleep orgasm is when you have an erotic dream and you come, in your sleep, basically. So that's obvious. All right, cool. Get it. Exercise. Nope, don't get that one. Okay. So, an exercise orgasm is typically related to core exercises. And that's mainly because you're working those lower muscles. And if you are one who does Kegels or any sort of pelvic exercises, you are able to basically contract those at will. So if you're doing a lot of core work, you might, upon occasion, also engage those pelvic muscles. And like I said, if you are an advanced orgasmer, you could probably trigger an orgasm from memory of the experience, from the contracting of the muscles. And hey, it's like a 2-for-1. You get your exercise, you get your orgasm. Cannot beat that. Yes. So again, these are just things to put in your mind. I'm not saying that if you're not having those or this or that you're not having them. But these are the things you want to keep in mind as you are developing your awareness of what your orgasm feels like. Because it can be this little thing, a little trickle. It can be huge and fireworks and symphonies and I don't know, whatever huge looks like for you. Or it could literally be like and it's done. And all of those are valid. All of those are to be treasured. There is no orgasm that is not a good orgasm. Hear me again. There is no such thing as a bad orgasm. An orgasm is always good when you have it. And you also have to understand that an orgasm isn't always going to be exactly the same every single time. You might be someone who has explosive orgasms all the time, and then all of a sudden you feel the body doing things, but it doesn't, like, it's not like that. It's like, yeah, it's still an orgasm. And yes, you still got benefit off of that. Don't minimize the expressiveness of your orgasm. Don't do that, because I think that is how we cheat ourselves of the pleasure of our orgasm, by rating whether or not it was off the charts, whether or not our toes curled, whether or not, we heard birds chirping. I don't know, whatever the case is. But know that orgasm is always good when you have it. Always good. Aside from those five, there's also multiple orgasms. Now, we talked about the erogenous zones, and we talked about the blended, but multiple orgasms is, that's like PhD level, right? Like it's you have that orgasm, and then you're still having orgasm, and then, like, you're still, it's almost like the ocean as it rushes on shore and pulls out, and then rushes back in and pulls out and rushes back in. Like, if you've ever watched the water as it hits the beach, when you first start watching, it seems like those first few were huge, and then it gets a little less and a little less, but it never stops. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. I bet you some of y'all have had that experience and it freaked you the hell out, and so you shut it down. Do not shut down the orgasm. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. Do not cheat yourself of the pleasure of the orgasm, no matter how long it lasts. Because that's the other thing, ladies. Men, you orgasm, you roll over, you sleep, or you need a sandwich, or yeah, and that's that line you tell us, I just need a nap, and then I'll be ready in about 30 minutes. Or can you make me a sandwich? Ladies, there's no stop. There is no I need a break and I need a rest and I need to breathe. I need water. We don't have any of that. We are set and designed to go and go and go. We are the Energizer Bunny when it comes to orgasms, okay? There's no stop. We only stop because we stop. We don't have to stop. We don't need you to reset. As a matter of fact, I'm going to need you dudes to get over yourself if she rolls over and gets the other boyfriend and keeps going. Get over yourself. That gives you the 30 minutes to get your nap, get your sandwich, go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. But don't be mad because she's still getting off. I'm just saying. Don't be mad if she rolls over and she hooks up with Bob while you do whatever you got to do to recover. She ain't done. And ladies, fuck him. You keep going till you think you're done. When you're done, you're done. You're not done because he's done. You're done when you're done. Okay? All right, I'm going to calm down. Because that's one of those that really gets on my nerves. It gets under my skin, people. That gets under my skin. Ladies, you do not have to stop because he stopped. And if you did not have your orgasm and he's done, you better have Bob ready. Bob better be fully charged and ready to go, because Billy gonna have to get over it while Bob does what he need to do. And if Billy was smart, he'd eat that sandwich, take that nap, drink that water, and come back and do what he should have did the first time. So all I'm saying, I'm going to calm down now because anyway. Okay, so um also, as I just said, you're not going to always feel like you're done. And if you don't feel like you're done, don't be done. Now, did you know, ladies, there's benefits to orgasms? Yes. My number one benefit, the number one benefit I experience from orgasm, stress relief. That's my number one. That's my personal favorite. Stress relief. Yep. Stress relief. Oh my God. So when you have an orgasm, the brain releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is that feel good, cuddly, warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you have an orgasm. It's that thing that makes you want to cuddle afterwards. That's that. That's that woosah. That natural drug that calms you down. And if oxytocin sounds comparable to Oxycontin, now you know why. It's based on that thing. It's based on that idea of that feel good, of that it literally creates this high. So if you've ever had a headache, you're like, no, I don't want to have sex, I have a headache. Have sex. Get that orgasm. Watch your headache subside. If you are premenstrual and you've got cramps, a little bit more of a gentler physical experience, but get to that orgasm so you can get that Oxycontin so that it can give you that natural medical release. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. My number one benefit is the relaxation as a result of Oxycontin being released. But it's also good for reducing inflammation. As I said, it's already good for stress and pain. Circulation and relaxation. Circulation. So I already mentioned about the relaxation because of the dopamine, the Oxycontin that gives you that cuddly feel. But there's circulation. Again, I did mention earlier at the top of the show here, the top of the talk, that the blood is rushing and gorging your genitals. That's a different kind of circulation of your blood. Your blood normally does what it does. It follows a circuit, right? But when your genitals are engorged, everything rushes there. And when the release happens, everything rushes back. So it's a different kind of circulation. It gives you a lot more movement, a lot more flow of the blood because your heart is also pumping at a higher rate. So things are happening. Things are happening. And it supposedly lowers cardiovascular risk. So who knows? If you're not having sex and you're having some cardiovascular or circulation issues, you might want to think about having more sex. And if you're going to say to me, Casey, I don't have a partner, you do have a finger. You can always masturbate, baby. And that's a whole nother conversation. We're going to go there at another time. But you can always, always take care of yourself. Whew. I need another break. All right, folks. Real quick. So, as you know, because I talk about this every week, I have been nominated for 2 awards. ASN Lifestyle Magazine awards are September 16th through 19th in Orlando, Florida at Top Secret Resort in Orlando. And I've been nominated for best lifestyle, and I'm sorry, excuse me. Sorry about that. Best lifestyle and best lifestyle and adult industry erotic writer and best lifestyle adult educator. I will be presenting at the award show. I will be teaching a class on pervertibles during the excuse me, during the awards weekend. In the meantime, at the bottom of this little logo here, this little flyer, that's how you can get to, thank you, Lorenzo. That is how you can get to vote. That's the link to the vote. If you're like Casey, I am not going to be able to remember that. No problem. Go to my Twitter line and the link is in my thread. It's in my thread every day. You can find me for sure. And when you get to the website and you were prepared to vote and you're like, okay, wait, which categories did Casey say she was in? I'm going to tell you how this is going to go for you. You keep popping categories until you find my name. My name is at the top of the list in both categories that I've been nominated. Baby, it don't get no easier than that. I'm telling you, it don't get no easier. So go ahead, vote for Casey Carter. Best Lifestyle Adult Industry Educator Writer, Best Lifestyle Adult Educator. And while you are on ASN Lifestyle Magazine's website, you need to check out my articles. I contribute to the magazine every month. And this month, I had an interview with Nookie from, oh my God, I didn't write it in my notes. Dating Kinky. Thank you. Nookie from Dating Kinky. She and I chat about how she developed the concept for this website and her future plans. So check it out in the May issue of ASN Lifestyle Magazine.
I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need, tell them giddy up. I got horses in the back, trunk in the front, exterior red and that inside buttercup. I got what you need, I got what you want, I got what you need, tell them giddy up.
Sorry. Whew, I had to take a drink and fan myself. Okay. So, after all this education on the scientific explanation of what an orgasm feels like, the different types of orgasms, the benefits of orgasms, and understand, I can talk about those things for days. 4 days. But that's not why you came here. You came here because I told you I would tell you exactly what it feels like so that you now know when you're in the midst of your experience what you should be looking for. So again, Dr. Jess O'Reilly says that the nuances of an orgasm, she explains about the nuances of an orgasm. She says for some people, an orgasm is the ultimate experience of pleasure. For others, it is a simple release. Some people lose control, and some people simply just take a deep exhale. And if you do meditation, you know them exhales are good. Ooh, they're good. And let me reiterate, what you see in porn is not real. Porn is acting. It may be bad acting, but it's acting. Yes, they're having sex. But remember that when Harry met Sally orgasm I showed you pictures of earlier? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, they're making it big for the video, but it may not actually be that big. Shit, it may not even be happening. So, here's what you're looking for. This is what you want to know. I'm going to give you my personal description of the different orgasm experiences that I've had. You ready? You got a pen? Paper? You recording? Oh, that's right. Wait, you can just go back to YouTube and watch this later. Okay, so I made a list of 10 different things to help you determine whether or not you're having an orgasm. Okay, so number 1, scalp, fingers, toes tingle. That's a real fucking thing, okay? Scalp, like it feels like your scalp is just like itching. And then your fingers, like, because remember I said the blood is rushing to your genitals. So scalp, fingers, toes, extremities. The blood is leaving from your extremities and rushing to your pelvic area. Orgasm. Um, Ears ringing and vision blurs. That ever happen to you? You ever have that like low hum ring in your ear? Okay. You might have. Be on the lookout for that. And vision blur. Let me tell you, that happens so often. I don't like the first few times I'm like, is there something wrong? Like, wait, what? And you'll know about the ear thing because the sounds will seem muffled and you'll literally think there's something wrong, and then you won't even realize that everything went back to normal. Vision blur, ears ring. Body convulses like a seizure. Now, you could possibly experience that, and it doesn't have to be full body. It can be, say, the lower part of your body. It can be the upper part of your body. And that can be very concerning because we know that something like that could mean that there's a medical issue. Be sensitive to that. But I'm pretty sure you'll be able to distinguish between the two. But again, you could experience, parts of your body that go into convulsion that appear to be like a seizure. Heat radiating from your midsection, from that pelvic area. Now remember, I said all this blood has now rushed to that area. That area, don't be surprised if that joint is hot like fire. Like, don't be surprised if you literally feel the heat releasing from that area. You ever notice how, like, afterwards, you're feeling like super hot? Don't touch me. I don't want to cuddle. You don't want the blankets, none of that. And then like 5 minutes later, your ass is freezing and you can't get the blanket on fast enough. Like you go from just having nothing on to like the sheets, socks, whatever. That's that heat, that all that blood rushing to that lower pelvic area, giving off the heat from that blood engorged in that area. You could be unable to speak or respond to questions. Like, your partner may be saying things like, "Ooh, baby, is that good? Is that good? How's that feel?" And you're like, and if you're lucky, you understood what he said to you. Like, I've had this experience where I can hear my partner talking to me. I can't really process what they're saying. Like, I know they're saying something to me, but you get nothing from me because I'm like, I got nothing. Like, there's everything, my brain is working that pelvic area. It doesn't have the capacity to have dialogue and have an orgasm, okay? And guys, don't you dare get sensitive because your ass goes plain dumb. Like, you get straight up stupid when you're coming. You don't even have the ability to say your own goddamn name. So don't look at me funny if you asking me all these questions and you get no answers. And I ain't because I'm ignoring you. It's because I can't talk to you and do this at the same time. And if I gotta choose, I'm having the orgasm. We can talk later. You may even growl. Uh-huh. Yeah, your orgasm can be so intense that it may come out animalistic. Like, you may just lose all, like, and just growl. It won't be that, it may literally be a deep throat, straight up from the belly, guttural. I want you to have all that. Do all that. I want you to scare the shit out of your partner the next time you're coming and you just start to growl. And listen, you will feel it. You'll feel it. You'll feel that growl come on. And you may have felt it before. You may have felt like you want to just be all grimy and gritty in it. And you thought, oh, that's not a good look. No, baby. I want you to just roll all in that ugly. Have it. Because you have that growl, that guttural, that animal orgasm. Girl, you're going to feel like a queen. You're going to be like, whatever, dude. You going ahead, roll over. I got more work to do here. So yeah, you get that. Yeah. Have it all. You may have aftershocks, mini orgasms, like seismic aftershocks. So again, we're talking about what does that feel like? That's your body can like quiver, like you're shivering. And it could be like literally like a wave, like you can feel it roll up on you. And then you can feel it settle down. And then you may be thinking about and focusing in on your pelvic area, and then you'll feel it start to roll up on you again. This is one of those experiences where you might mentally shut it down. You might create tension in your body to make it stop. Don't do that, boo. Don't do that. I don't care if your body has the 20 tremors. You better languish in them 20 tremors. If honey want to grab you and you feel like that grabbing is going to shut it down, you stop him. Or if that grab acts to stimulate those tremors even more, you do what you do. But don't you dare let those tremors, those aftershocks, get squashed. You roll in every last one of them. Your vagina will convulse and spasm. We talked about that during the talk earlier. When you're done having your orgasm, or when you're done with the pleasure that creates the orgasm, you might then be able to feel your vagina convulse. You might then be able to feel the spasm, the twitching, the throbbing. That might even be a better word for you to understand in the moment, that throb. And it may not be constant. It may be throb, 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 throb. There's no specific pattern to it. You're just going to feel it. And a lot of this is you focusing on the pelvic area and just tuning into what it's doing. Your orgasm, ladies, can last quite a while. Quite a while. I mean, dudes, you come, you go. Ladies, you come over and over and over and over again. You were built to come over and over and over again. Or you were built to have that one orgasm that just sort of kind of ebbs and flows. It may be big at the top and then it just lays there. It just lays there. And you can tell that you're not quite done. And that if you move a little bit, it kind of picks up again. And if you settle, it doesn't completely disappear. But if you twitch the right way, or if you touch it, or if someone blows on your nipple, yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. And then, for you all-star, PhD carrying, orgasm havers, the squirting. Yeah, I'm not going to say something like everybody can squirt. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. But let me say this. Squirt I think is kind of a hard word for some of us if we've never done it, because we're thinking squirt and we're like, we think it's got to go flying out, right? No, doesn't. It's just the term that's used. It can trickle out like a leaky faucet. It can just trickle. It can go gushing out like, or you can be one of those who literally squirts, where it sprays and sprays and like, yes. So because the term squirt sounds like you've got to be that gush, that sprayer, that gusher, don't think about it in that sense. Your body can have that experience, and it doesn't have to be this fire hydrant moment. It could literally be a leaky faucet drip. That still counts. Still counts. Like I said, your orgasm is your orgasm, and don't nobody tell you. They can't tell you. Don't get yourself caught in any of these definition boxes. Don't put yourself in any of these boxes. You just know what feelings to be looking for, what things your body is going to do, and then you define what your orgasm feels like. And so that's the show. That is my lesson on what does the female orgasm feel like. I hope it was helpful. If you've got questions, by all means, find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Well, yeah, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at Casey at Night, or just come back next week and we'll talk about something else. All right. So before I go, because I was definitely about to wave off. Woo, okay. So tonight on BoobTube, we are talking about Will Smith movies and TV. Will Smith, big Will Smith, married to Jada Pinkett and them very interesting kids of theirs. That's all I'm going to say. I've got kids. I ain't going to bash somebody else's kids. That would be wrong of me, but interesting family. Anyway, join me on YouTube at Exotica TV at 10 o'clock, and we'll be talking about Will Smith. But in the meantime, if I don't see you at 10, I'd like to see you next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, right here. Casey at Night on YouTube and Twitter. Hope you have a great week. Bye.